So now it's time for us to take a look at some lead guitar, and we're going to kick things off by taking a look at our first scale. Now, the scale that we're going to be looking at is the minor pentatonic. Now, all of the riff examples we've been looking at so far are based around the key of E minor. And when we get through all of our concept lessons, we're going to be looking at a track, a heavy metal style track that puts everything together in E minor. So we're going to be using the E minor pentatonic scale. And we're going to be playing this, we're going to use shape 1, but we're going to play it up at the 12th fret. Now, some of you might have this scale shape down, but for those of you that don't, let's just take a look at the scale shape first of all before we look at how we're going to practice this scale. And for those of you that know the scale already, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of revision. So we're going to play 12 to 15 on the low E, 12 to 14 on the A, 12 to 14 on the D, 12 to 14 on the G, 12 to 15 on the B, and 12 to 15 on the top E. So when you ascend the scale, and when we descend that scale, we just play that in reverse. So on the top E, 15, 12, 15, 12 on the B, 14, 12 on the G, 14, 12 on the D, 14, 12 on the A, and 15, 12 on the low E. Now, it's important to know where the root notes are. The root notes are the notes that give the scale its name, the notes of E in this instance. So we have the 12th fret of the low E, the 14th fret of the D, and the 12th fret of the top E. But really, the most important ones for you to learn are going to be this one here on the low E. Now, the reason that is that kind of fits around an E minor bar chord shape, and that will enable you to move this scale around the neck outside of the app if you're going to jam along with other tracks. I think it's really important for you to be able to see how you can take these basic box shapes and move them around. To move them around successfully, you really need to know the position of that first root note. Okay, so now we're going to look at how we're going to practice this scale. I'm going to present to you a very easy sequence. We're going to start off, and we're going to use all picking for this, alternate picking. We're going to start off on the E string, then onto the A string. Okay, then we're going to repeat on the A string to the D string. Repeat on the D string to the G string, then we're going to play the G string to the B string. Then we're going to go back to the G string, play the B string, and then we're going to repeat on the B string onto the top E and resolve to the root note. So let's just play that sequence ascending slowly. Sounds like this. It's a really cool sequence that, like I said, once you kind of go back on yourself, you go back and play from the G string again. And then we go back to the G string. Now let's look at how we descend. We're going to start on the top E to the B, repeat on the B, and then go to the G string. And then we're going to play the G string to the D string to A string, back to the D string, A string again, and then finally to the low E. So we're going to get this. Okay, let's put the exercise together. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. So now it's your turn to play through our E minor pentatonic shape 1 using our sequence.